Yeah,
You couldn't see it. So that was impressive. Yeah. But it was serious, but it was like we were in another planet or something. And it was just the stuff.
Mm.
Kid,
No.
how do you know this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sold like 3 times in the last 6 months.
republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Okay, so Becky, it's all yours. So we're board is not starting yet. It's all Becky's show right now. So
I call this special town meeting to order. First order of business, I need a nomination for the moderator.
all right. So
I nominate Lorraine Fardy.
second,
All right, and then I need 3 written votes. You want to hold it?
no, can we use the ballot box?
We can. All right. One Lorraine, two Lorraine, 3 for Lorraine.
An amazing upset. Lorraine took it.
Cinderella story.
Yeah. Cinderella story.
Okay. Hang on. I, Lorraine Farady, do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of this state so long as I shall continue a citizen thereof. So help me God. And I do swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities the duties incumbent on me as moderator of this special town meeting according to the Constitution of the United States, the laws of the state of Maine, and the charter and ordinances of Damascus. So help me God. Yeah, it's a tough fight. All right. There are 3 articles that we need to vote on, and hopefully you'll have green cards if you're a Damascus resident. Signed in. Okay. Article 2, to see if the town will vote to increase the property tax levy limit of $1,815,197 established for Damascus by state law in the event that the municipal budget approved under the preceding articles will result in a tax commitment that is greater than the property tax levy limit. Note, last year's tax levy limit was $1,752,768, making this year's tax levy limit an increase of $62,429. You have a motion to approve Article 2?
I'll move Article 2.
Second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion on that?
Just a point of clarification.
Yes, dear.
So there's a difference between increasing the limit and exceeding the limit. In the past years, we've asked for it to be exceeded. This year, we're asking for it to increase. The note there under the article was related to the 1-year exceedance. At the last meeting, when we talked about setting this article, the limit would increase from last year's amount of $1,752,768 to an increased limit of approximately $2,173,000.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Article 3, to see if the town will vote to accept from the Massasoit Engine Company gifts of money and certain items of equipment to be used for the benefit of the town and the Massasoit Engine Company. This is on here today because this was omitted from this year's annual town meeting for what was believed to have been covered by another article. After a discussion with town staff, it was decided to vote on the article as it had been previously been presented.
I'll move Article 3.
Second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on this? Hearing none, all those in favor? And opposed? Okay, Article 3 passes. Article 4, to see if the town will reappropriate the funds approved at the June 14th, 2023 annual town meeting for Healthy Roots as stated to Hardy Roots. This was a typed error designated funds to Healthy Roots, and in fact, it should have said Hardy Roots. The nonprofit submitted a request for funding during FY24 budget process for our policy for provider agency requests, another housekeeping one, I think. Okay,
Second.
okay. No, any discussion at all? All right, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries, and we need a motion to adjourn this special meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? All right, meeting adjourned.
All right. You've got the gavel. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Lorraine. Oh, geez, yeah, they don't let me have a weapon back here, so see what I can do. So, all right. Well, thank you, Lorraine. So with that, we are going to open a public hearing at this point before we get into a regular board meeting. Sorry, I should pass this to you. We have a public hearing this evening for an adult use marijuana retail store application, and I'm going to flip it ahead and read it because I can't remember the name. I'm sorry. For Green Alien Cannabis Company. Do we have anyone here to? Hey, this gentleman right there. So yeah, did you bring your PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah, get it all.
No,
ready.
sure.
No, good afternoon.
Come on up, if you don't mind. We've got a mic up there. Just introduce yourself, and this is rather informal. We all have the application and whatnot. So yeah,
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brian Harnish. I'm
Brian.
an employee of Green Alien Cannabis Co. LLC. And we're here seeking local approval from you guys today.
fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Any questions, comments, concerns on the public hearing? Hearing none, we're gonna close the public hearing. Oh,
Do we get to ask questions?
oh, absolutely. No, it's open. It's open
Oh, okay.
forum. So yeah.
So you said you were an employee. Are you also an owner?
No, sir.
Okay. So is the company that's buying it, the company you work for, Green Alien, do they own other cannabis locations in the state of Maine?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So how many? Just curious.
Between dispensary and adult use, we operate with 13 locations. Well, this would be the 13.
Okay.
It's a few. Yeah.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Any other comments, questions? Well, good. We'll close the public hearing, get you off the hot seat here.
Thank
So,
you for your
yeah.
time, guys.
No
Appreciate
problem,
it.
no problem. With that, I will call the July 5th Town of Damascotta Select Board meeting to order. If pleases the board, we do have a liquor license application and a cannabis application that, if we don't mind, I can move those up.
Sure.
So we don't make these gentlemen wait, if that's all right. So, right. Unless you guys want to wait. No. So if we want to consider, let me flip ahead here. I believe in number 2, it'd be D as the adult use cannabis application for Green Alien. We can consider a motion on that. If
I'll make a motion that we issue an adult use marijuana retail store license to Green Alien.
thank you, Tom. I'll second. Okay, any discussion?
I think there were just, so there were 3 department reports. John, as fire chief, had just noted just a couple minor things.
Okay.
Brian, you saw the email,
Yeah.
real simple.
Yep.
Just a couple, it was a sign over one of the fire extinguishers, I believe, that was
Okay.
listed, and something else. Police chief was okay.
You saw
And,
the chief's report. Yeah.
George I'm looking at Michael, his planner. But George had put a report in.
Okay.
And he was satisfied. It's helpful that they're going into an existing.
Yeah, it's an established
Yeah.
business. Yeah, and John, you're satisfied with on your end there. Yeah. So, all right. Sounds good. All those in favor? Okay, there's only 3 of us. All right. So you guys are all set? Yeah, yeah. So,
Check. Ready to start with you?
Sure.
so this gentleman right here, so,
Then behind that is the local authorization form. That you got to complete and then send to OCP. Perfect. Thank you.
Probably next week, or we get that, by the end of this week, we will.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, I'll be in touch. I have your email, so if you need anything from me, just let me know.
Okay, awesome.
Thanks for your time, guys.
yeah, thank you, problem. And if we look at F on the same list there, we do have
Yep.
2 liquor licenses, renewals for existing businesses here. So we
Sure.
can do them both if, Tom, you want that one?
Oh, sure. Tito's, you have Tito's? Oh, all right. Okay, so I'll make a motion that we approve the liquor license renewal for M&W Partners S Corp. DBA King Iders, as well as T&T Restaurants, DBA Damascata River Grill.
I'll second that.
Yep, Dan seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, we're good there. So, yeah. So, do you need anything from Damon right now? Is he good?
Nope. He's all set
Yep.
for now. We'll have those signed and available by the end of the week.
All right,
All
perfect.
right, there, go back to work. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we can get back on track here, gentlemen. So a couple notes, sorry. We are, Andrea Kuskarian is absent tonight. Josh Pinkham's absent this evening. We do have a couple of add-ons when we get down to the applications for cater function. There is one more that came in today. Andy put a copy in our packet. Looks pretty straightforward, but we can address that when it comes to. And then you've got something on the end too for an aggrement that we added in.
Yeah, if we could
Yeah,
add
so, number 8.
8 on action items, which was part of the executive session, which we will not be having. Our attorney's not
Yeah.
available, but it was just a minor change to the previously executed consent agreement. I can
So we'll-
explain more in
Yeah, when we get to it, but there's an add on there. Cool. Okay. All right. We've had the June 21st select board minutes. Everybody get a chance to look at those?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I'll make a motion to approve the.
Second.
Yeah, well, Tom's gonna second. You didn't know my motion was yet.
Yeah, I know what.
You're getting, Josh usually gets ahead of me on those, so. Yeah, Tom's made he seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just want to follow up.
Yeah.
I noticed in the minutes that you talked about back taxes be applied to past due accounts. There was a discussion that was tabled till the next meeting,
Mhm.
and I didn't see anything in the packet around that.
It
for
missed,
this
yeah, it
meeting.
missed the agenda and, so put it on the 19th.
Okay,
Okay, next, yeah. Good catch. All right, I made the motion, Tom seconded, so, yeah. So we got ahead of you on that one. All right, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries. So minutes are approved. So we do have financial reports this evening. We have 2 payroll warrants right now, 59 and 60. Entertain a motion for payroll warrants. If anybody wants them, I'll take them.
All right.
I'll move 59 and 60 payroll warrants.
all right, second.
Dan seconds. Any discussion? Good. All those in favor? Okay, let's carry. And we have 2 accounts payable warrants. We have number 61, and then we start over with number 1.
Wow.
Yeah, starting over again. So,
Well, I'll make a motion to approve those.
okay, Dan's gonna make a
Second.
motion on those. Tom seconds. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? All right, motion carry. So I'll start, we'll start passing stuff down here shortly, get stuff signed. So we'll move on. Citizens' comments, general correspondence. Andy, anything sneak in? No mail, no greeting cards, anything? All right. Yeah, anybody out in the? John, nothing?
Thank you for letting us use the space for the diagrams.
Oh, yeah. No problem.
To see them set up in a different way.
Yeah, and how many, we talked last night and roughly, we did 30, 40 people come through or
I
something?
think, yeah, about 30 or 40 over
Yeah.
the few days there.
That's not too bad for, yeah. So, no problem. And I don't see anybody.
And a big thank
Coming
you
in
to
there.
Andy for taking the lion's share of the time.
Oh, it's okay. There's a lot of other events that a lot of other people put a lot of time into. So
There was a lot going on, so,
Yeah.
yeah, so. But that's a, good point, John, 'cause it was a good busy weekend and I think everybody enjoyed the parade and the fireworks went off well and so, yeah. I was gonna save that for my discussion items, but got ahead of me. Awesome. Let's move right on along here. So I think town manager's got some discussion items he wants to go through for his report. Capital
Sure.
projects updates and whatnot.
So just quick, I got 2 things I didn't have on there. I just want to go over before I forget.
Yeah, sure.
Met with a couple of members of the PSAC committee Monday. Talk about bike infrastructure. They've been working on a possible resolution for the board to consider to I'll say prioritize not only the other stuff, but also make sure bike infrastructure is also kind of at the top of our list when we're planning capital projects and doing road improvements. So been working with them on something for the board to consider in an upcoming meeting. And then planning on submitting a grant application, which is pretty straightforward for the replacement of the docks.
Mhm.
It's been 12 or 15
It's
years,
been a
I
few
guess.
years, yeah.
So I think it's every 7 to 10, maybe 10. So we're past due. The Public Works Department tends to replace a few more boards each year and hardware as it rusts out. So they're ripe for it. And so if we can get a grant in and if we get accepted for that replacement, the state would rebuild them for us. And they'd be
Great.
available for next season.
Does the money come from the state? Is that where the grant?
What department, what do they come through for?
Oh, Bureau of
Just-
Parks and Land, perhaps. I
Sounds
can't, I
good.
cannot remember.
Yeah, I was just curious. It was,
Hang on.
it's not marine resource or anything like that. It's,
Just Bureau of Parks and Land.
yeah, that makes sense.
You have it.
Yeah.
So we have 15 pieces in total down there. I think the original grant was for, I think, either 12 or 13.
Okay.
So we're gonna try and get, because we'd added a couple sections, so it's
Yeah.
now an F. So I'm asking for all 15 and hoping they can do that. If not, we'll save the best 2 and go from there.
Ask for 20 and get 15.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to get that out. That's due by the 15th of this month. So that's a pretty straightforward application. Should be able to get it out this week. Mile Street, we're just waiting on final invoices. Things are holding up pretty well through the rain we've gotten. There were a
Yeah.
couple steep banks on that causeway that we were kind of waiting to see how it held if the grass took. And it is doing pretty well. So just waiting on those final invoices. Egypt Road and Belvedere Road, we are still waiting. I've been trying to work with the contractor and engineer to get through the technical
Right.
Review of what is and isn't included. Right now we're dealing with the shoulder materials. The only thing left on both those roads at this point is getting the shoulder material and the shim of the shoulder done. So
I don't understand that though. When we didn't do the original plan and they paved it.
Mhm.
Everybody knew there was going to be need for shoulder work, including the contractor, no? Because the engineer
No one's
brought it up.
disagreeing that there's a need for shoulder work. The
Yeah.
disagreement is whether or not it was included in the base bid. And so whether or not it's an additional cost and how much, or whether it's included in the original contract price. And so I've been trying to get the engineer, and it's been challenging in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Oh, I saw that, yes,
To get
yeah.
them, but that's, our position, as I understand it, is that it was included for the reclaim sections to be included in the base bid. It is not necessarily, so we're just trying to work through that, so. It's been slow going with the holiday and just other projects ramping up, and so. But I
Do you
am,
think it's going to be substantial if it's not included? I mean, do you have any idea what it might be?
I think it's, upwards of between 30 and 50 grand is the estimate right now. Depends on some sections. It's not uniform. So I think if you, as you drive it and notice, I think there's some sections where you're talking 2 inches and some sections where you got 6+ inches to
Yeah.
fill. So with not being uniform makes it a little challenging to get an accurate estimate. So it's,
Yeah.
and then if it includes the reclaim sections or not, makes a big difference too in the price. So.
So if we can, get the engineer. I know.
He's on the same page and he understands that the reclaim detail did include it. And so that's what we're just needing to get the board, the guidance on from the engineer to move forward one way or the other.
Yeah.
Parking lot, the,
On Egypt Road,
Yes.
last time you talked about burnout, there were some burnouts, I think is the term
Yeah.
you used on the new Egypt Road.
yeah,
And then you thought there might be a cost to that, potential damage. I was just curious.
have not had
Was there any follow-up to that?
no significant follow-up on with damage. It was fairly minor. But no, we have not.
They were investigating. They
Yeah.
didn't find out who
The
did it,
law
right?
enforcement side of it takes its own track.
Yeah.
But
It was frustrating at the very least.
Yeah.
Maybe saying nice new pavement and,
I've seen worse.
oh, yeah, I just.
But it is frustrating when town makes an investment like that.
It's so frustrating.
That
Yeah.
happens. Any other questions on those 2 roads?
Not really. Yeah.
Frustration, I understand.
Frustration. Yeah. Just
Actually-
as we can, I know it's a priority. We've got some steep shoulders there and some tricky spots that need to get filled in. So I know you're working on the engineer, we can keep.
So is it the engineer who creates the base contract, the bid contract, and then people bid on it so that it's really the contractor's RFP?
So this This particular project, I think, started with a template that the committee, Public Works Committee, had obtained.
Okay.
And then had an idea of what they wanted to see done on those roads, and then handed it to an engineer to kind of help with the actual RFP process. So there were a series of changes, and so it wasn't a uniform process. Typically, would recommend, if you're going out to a big scale project, you find an engineer you want to work with, or consider a design build where you find a contractor you want to work with, and kind of go through the design process together. Starting with the engineer, there's still going to be some questions by the time you go out to bid that the contractors now are looking at, and saying, well, what does this mean? So we kind of didn't do either of those approaches. So I think that created some confusion, perhaps a little bit of, could have been a little more streamlined, and there was opportunity there for miscommunications, I think, throughout all the changes, because we had, if you recall, I think it was last September or so when we gave the intent to award, and it wasn't until January, I think, when we finalized. And so it went through a few changes.
And some of those were, contractor driven, some were engineering driven.
Mostly in the culverts and drainage, but.
So it, just try to start out with a set plan, then sometimes it can become fluid, and that can cause issues with interpretations later on and things like that. So, it's a work in progress. We're trying to put a better system together. So,
Okay.
With the parking lot, I have communicated with their attorney. I've also reached out to one of the board members for the sanitary district to understand what their thoughts are, or where they are hung up, because it does appear that I don't have any solid answers or opportunities to move forward right now. EDA has been asking, how are we coming? Do you need any help? And I did ask for a point of clarification between a co-recipient and a co-applicant in terms of kind of the grant requirements and satisfaction or liabilities, if you will, of performance. And so I got a quick response from that. Have not asked our attorney to weigh in. I think it's pretty straightforward, but they have theirs involved. So I did provide that. I have not heard back. That was just
when
before
did
the
you provide it to?
That I followed up with from EDA's response, I think just before the weekend.
Oh, okay.
yeah, it wasn't that
There
long.
was a
ago. You
vacation
CC'd me on
involved.
something there.
The lawyer for them was on vacation for a
Okay.
week, and so it's
Yeah.
just another one of those that takes time.
It's a
to get
longer
some-
paragraph than last meeting.
Yeah. I mean, the thing here with this,
boy.
this section of the project's already built out, so there's no real, the biggest piece here is just holding on to it, retaining ownership of it, and for the period of 20 years, the useful life
Right.
of that infrastructure.
Yeah.
So, that, to my knowledge, is the biggest implication there that they'd be accepting. But their
Which they
attorney
said
might
they were
advise
gonna do a
otherwise.
long time ago, but they didn't sign the paper.
Right. Personnel updates. Happy to report, have made an offer, and after a counter offer, we tore Glendening with Newcastle board, are putting forward to our boards respectively, Michael Martone to be our town planner. Michael's here in the room tonight.
Okay, yeah, you send you some time back there.
I did, Michael's been working with us as the MCOG contract planner for about 10
Right.
hours a week, supporting mostly the planning board and some of the staff on applications and such. So I did include, I believe I included in here a copy of
The interlocal. You're looking at the interlocal.
the interlocal would come next. So we were able to agree to terms on his employment for that as a full-time salaried, kind of a group one as we define it in our personnel policy.
Okay.
He'd be overseen as a department head of the planning office, planning and code.
Yeah.
So he'd be overseeing our code officer.
Okay, I was just gonna ask you, so fall underneath the code enforcement, go underneath that, so,
Yeah.
okay.
And the position structured for about 20 hours a week. Before, when Isabel was working about a year ago, when we had that set up, the planner was going to take on the task of the comp plan and then the planning board support and the site development review primarily for the support of them, and then any other stuff that comes in. We're still planning on retaining Isabel at this point to continue with her efforts with the comp plan, which will allow Michael to filter in as needed, but also focus on perhaps things like the TIF amendment that we've been talking about doing for a while and some other
Yeah.
opportunities for us as well. So
Makes sense. So,
just need the board to, the way the charter reads is that the board kind of for department heads
Mhm.
approves, if you will, my recommendation for the hire.
gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. We'll wait till the very end to do that. You want to get through your, want to go through your notes first, or what do you want to?
Oh, sorry. Yes, that was coming up later.
Well, no, I didn't know.
Oh, sorry.
We can, we can make the poor guy wait until the very end. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah.
Police cruiser dashboard cam. So we had one of those
Mhm.
kind of fail at some point last fiscal year now, or before winter. And I talked with Jason about, the chief, about whether we did want to replace them or not. We had just made the investment in the body cams. And the question was, will those satisfy their needs from an investigatory standpoint? The angle and what the dashboard cam can pick up versus the body cam. And going through the MLEAP certification process and talking to other departments, he felt it is important to keep the dashboard cams as well. So we
They
put
need
them in
both.
2 of the 3 cruisers, the third one being the Chief's cruiser. They do have body cams, should that one be the need to be in service. They do have the body cam still when they're in there. So we're only asking to put it back and replace the 2 we have. And he did get a number from WatchGuard, which is the system we have in there now. I believe he said those are over 10 years old. They were in there when he started working for us as an officer.
Not that long. Wow.
And so I had asked, does the company Axon make, the ones that we bought the body cams through, make a dashboard cam? And they do. And he reached out to him just to get a number to compare.
This is Axon.
This Axon is
Axon.
the one that I did sign an agreement for, as I explained in the my report here. There is an opportunity, if the board, it does want to step back from that, we can. Nothing is purchased and installed yet. They aren't going to be available until the end of the calendar year anyways. But we were trying to take advantage of and sign the contract for what they show as a discounted price for agreeing to it before the end of June, which presented us about an $8,000 savings as they
Oh, wow.
bundled
Yeah.
it.
Good move.
So it's for a 5-year agreement. It'd get us 2 dashboard cams, all the hardware and software we need to be able to integrate it. I think one of the perks we had with the body cams, you have to, in both cases, both systems have to be initiated. With the dashboard cam, you can sync it to the car. So if the lights, if you engage with the lights, the cameras automatically turn on. There's a couple other things you could kind of pre-program it to automatically engage those cameras, so you don't forget. By having the same camera system, the cameras with the body cams and the dashboard cams, you can get a switch, which is included in this price, so that when any one of those is engaged and you're within a certain distance of the switch, both get engaged.
Yeah.
Which is nice, because if an officer has to leave the car, in a hurry and forgets to turn that on, but the lights were already
Don't have
going,
to
that body cam's already started.
Fumbling to get their body cam
So
on. and-
leave-
Yeah.
As they leave the cruiser, which at that point is just capturing the image and no audio, the body cam is already working. Stores it in the same system that we currently utilize, as opposed to a second system for data storage. Right now with the dashboard cams, we've been storing them when it works on our server. And so I'm hoping there might be a chance, and that might not be the case, but there might be a chance we can scale back the storage capacity or needs for the server that we have to replace up here.
Sure. Yeah.
So we-
they're uploading everything to.
Saw a lot of benefits to switching companies to integrate with the body cam company, and just hoping that the board might agree or feel the same way on that. At the end of the 5 years, the price includes automatic replacement of the cameras that we purchased.
Oh,
So it's like pre-purchasing, that hardware.
warranty. They in between almost the 5
They
years.
do.
or any-
Yeah, I don't have the specifics on that one. I know with the body cams, they were pretty pleased that within the, I think the first 2.5 years, he was back and forth on whether it was an automatic replacement or if anything happens. My understanding is that if anything happens to them, that they'll be replaced if that's the need, or
It's
they'll
hard
be
to use
repaired.
sometimes if they're, yeah, so, okay.
The price in the contract includes installation, the WatchGuard camera systems for the 2 of them. I think was just over $8,000 as base price. It didn't include the installation fee. It didn't include, as he said, was the software and data storage fees. So that price came up a little bit closer to what these were. But we don't have a quote exactly from them comparing apples to apples.
Okay.
If you'd like that, we can get that before the next meeting if you'd like.
Well, do you think it's going to be substantial?
I think this one will be a little bit more, but when you weigh the benefits of how it's
Yeah,
integrated with
exactly.
the other system and you're not maintaining
Right.
two data storage systems,
What, 3,000, 5,000?
that's my guess.
Yeah, okay.
And now their price didn't include the replacement of the cameras. In the car, there's the dashboard cam as well as a camera that faces the back seat. So it's more than just the two cameras.
Is this a system that's very common within the policing world here in Maine?
Dashboard cams or this
No,
one
no,
in
this
particular?
particular technology.
Don't know about this particular company's technology. I know dashboard cams is something a lot of them do have. I can't tell you what percentage of them. I think it's more common that
I
they
would
have
say
the
the vast
dashboard
majority.
cam than they have the body cam perhaps.
Yeah.
But I don't know that for certain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
no.
he has. I can't speak as far as the Axon company, but as far as the cameras go, it's more prevalent than.
Oh,
than
sure.
not these days.
Sure.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
because
but-
just my experience has been that if there's other people that have the similar technology, sometimes the support is easier.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah,
people know about
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he
So
did reach out. I think it
There
was,
are problems.
I think it was Booth Bay Harbor, I believe he said had just signed on to a contract with them.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Um,
Well, it's a nice part.
He
is
did
it
reach out
already
to a couple of people that ask about it.
Integrates with what the body worn cameras already, so. And the interesting with the data storage too, because I think it's right now, it's a little time consuming for our data storage.
It is, if they need to,
Loading and then,
yeah. If they need to capture footage from a previously recorded incident, they have to get the server and basically put it on a disk or a thumb
3.5
drive.
floppy disk.
You know, each time you want to send to someone, the system that Axon uses, the cloud storage system allows them to kind of, I don't know, zip it all together a lot easier. And you
drive
can
or
just send
something,
a
yeah.
digital file like that.
Yeah.
It's just, it's more in tune with the times
Yeah.
than what we've been using.
Yeah, okay.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I don't have any concerns with it as far as moving ahead with that, so.
Great.
Yeah.
The way it works out, that cost is split over 5 years, which I
Spread it out,
suggested
right?
that he considered doing that. He was looking at the end of the fiscal year and whether we just bought it outright. There was no additional cost savings to doing it over 5 years versus 1 year and one payment. But I suggested we do it over the 5 years because it kind of levelizes the budget. And so
Sure.
if in year 6, 7, or 8, you need to do something, it's kind of an amount that you've carried equally throughout that time.
Yeah,
And so we'll probably ask to carry forward that first payment they need, which will put it in a year where we didn't budget for it.
Okay.
Um,
Is there like an annual maintenance cost as well?
Included is my understanding.
Okay.
There's a fee for the data storage, which again, is a little bit less because we've already are utilizing their service for data storage.
already for one camera, no. No, it makes sense to stick with one company and tie it all together as long as it's working, so.
And if you do have any other questions on it, just reach out and we'll get the chief to track those answers down before the next meeting.
Fair enough. All right,
All right. And that's all I had for my report. Just a big thanks to everyone that came out for the 175th celebrations, as John was mentioned earlier. There was a lot of other groups that participated in helping make it happen. The fire department and Massasoit Engine Company, the Chamber of Commerce, Historical Society, Coastal Rivers, Conservation Trust, the YMCA. Forgetting any? Those are the majority of the big ones. And there were a lot of businesses that participated in sponsoring Flowers on Main Street or the band that was on or the fireworks. And so big thanks to everyone
Yeah,
that
it was fun. Good
participated in
turnout.
making that happen.
start planning the 200th. Come on. Oh, that was fun. So awesome. Well, Andy, you're all good there. We'll move on to the rest of our official action items. How's that sound? Everybody okay with that? Did everybody get a chance to look through the appointment list? There was a change on there. There is an amendment. And so page 11 in your packet, under plumbing inspector, it should read George Chase. instead of Corey Fortin. So, it's all right with everybody. Everybody look through that.
How are we gonna get by without the sealer of weights and measures?
See, the state, well, somebody eventually will come through and do it.
If we don't
I've-
appoint one, the state does assume that responsibility and
Yes,
they
they
get
do.
to it eventually.
Eventually.
The other one
Yeah.
I do need to look for is a health officer. That is
Mhm.
one that from time to time we do rely on.
Had one before.
Issues.
Yeah.
The one, apologize for forgetting his name now. The person who had been serving that capacity for many years had let me know that he was
Was it Dr.
not going to
Teal?
be.
Was it, who was in there last time? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Do you remember, John? He was a while ago. I remember being in there, but yeah.
So he had let me know he wouldn't be able to serve in that capacity going forward.
Mhm.
But thank him for his years that he had done it, particularly through COVID. Presume it was a big one to navigate for a lot of public health officers and brought that position to the forefront
Yeah.
to light. So we'll look at trying to fill that and get
We can
someone.
fill it as we go. If we get an appointment there.
Curious,
Yeah,
is
so,
is there any
yes.
changes from last year? Like,
Other than,
Oh,
so code enforcement, that's, I believe that's the only change, right?
It's the only one, and then the vacancy of the health.
And then the
officer.
vacancy of the health officer, but, no, everything is pretty,
Can I ask just a crazy question?
yeah.
What's a fence viewer?
I knew you were gonna ask that, and I spoke to him today, so,
I know who he is, but
I met Charlie
don't
on
know-
the street.
I
I
don't know what he
said,
does.
Charlie, we're making appointments. Yeah. He goes, oh, am I gonna get fence viewer? So fence viewer, that goes back, what, I don't know the whole history to it. That goes back a long time for a dispute over what a height of a fence or a location of a fence. Is that, do I have that right? Something, all of the above, yeah. You did, yeah. So it's a really obscure, and I don't know if Charlie has ever had to fill his role as fence viewer. But we just keep, it's been there for so long. We just keep putting him in. So, so eventually Charlie may not want to do it anymore and we'll have to put some else fence viewer. But I think he's got himself did he show you? Does he have a little business card?
Thing.
He has a little card.
Once as a joke, but beyond that.
Right. I don't think he's done anything on official capacity.
I think I'll call him tomorrow and I say, I got a fence you have to.
Yeah, we have neighborly dispute about the fences. So, yeah. So it's just one of those things that's been on there for so long. We keep doing it.
The other,
Uh,
the next page, page 12,
With your ballot list.
I printed it from an Excel spreadsheet, so page 13, 14, and 15 were just kind of residual from this
Oh, okay.
spreadsheet.
Mhm.
It should just be page 12, which lists all the ballot clerks,
Okay,
in which you typically appoint. So it
Right.
shows their party affiliation and just their names.
Yeah.
I know Dan did have a question about serving as a board member and as a ballot clerk, and just quickly check with Becky about it and just, recommended that maybe if there's just state and federal issues on the ballot to consider, that it's not a conflict.
I wouldn't think
But
with
perhaps
state and
local
federal stuff.
ones, if there's
Yeah.
local items on there, maybe just step back. from that.
Right,
But it's
yeah.
not a problem
Yeah.
that we're aware of.
It's actually a lot of fun being involved that
Mhm.
way in a local election.
Definitely.
All right. So yeah, so we can, I'll make a motion to approve the official appointments as amended with George Chase as plumbing inspector and the attached list of ballot clerks.
second,
Okay, Tom seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right. Andy, you can call everybody now. You can call Charlie up tonight and tell him he's still fence
I don't
viewer.
know, Tom has an issue.
Yeah, so has an issue.
yeah,
Yeah.
Tom to give me a call.
Next on our list, the other appointment we have is this gentleman sitting back in the corner waiting patiently. Oh. Does anybody want to take that motion or I can,
I'll make a motion.
all right, go ahead, Dan. Yep. So,
To appoint Michael Martone as the town planner,
all
for the town
right.
of Amscott.
Sounds good.
Second,
Second, okay. So Dan made the motion. Tom's going to second. And any discussion? No, hearing none. All those in favor? 2, 3. Okay, so we're good. Yeah. So when does he start tonight?
Yeah, sure.
You get him the, oh, no, that's right.
Later this week or next week?
I put on my paperwork Monday as the official.
Okay, yeah.
I'll be here Friday.
Perfect.
Okay, so we'll give you plenty to do. So welcome
That's right.
aboard. And along with that, we probably ought to do the interlocal agreement too. So, yeah.
So this is changed very slightly from what the town had originally approved with Booth Bay Harbor and then
Mhm.
again approved with Newcastle when we did that agreement with them back last October, I believe it was. So the biggest difference was in section 1, when it talks about when the planner is working in the capacity for either town, that town's personnel policy
Yeah. Mhm.
would apply. There were just some minor differences between our
Gotcha,
two,
yeah.
particularly around hours and availability, just, acknowledging that, each town might have something slightly, a little bit different expected and capabilities to remote in. So that was the big one, but working with Tor as a representative from their board and briefly talking with their interim town manager, they felt comfortable with this as it's written here.
Tor's a good guy.
Yeah, as long as both parties are happy with it. Looks good to me. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the interlocal agreement with Newcastle for the shared town planner services as presented.
Second.
Thank you, Tom. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries. So, yeah, I do have to say, I think on behalf of the board, we do like fostering that relationship with Newcastle and some of these shared services. So have a lot of similar interests. So we
Yes.
can, business one passes right through both of us. So it's nice we can be on the same page with some stuff. So, all right. So if they're watching tonight, make sure they know we said that.
And they'll meet next week
Same.
and take up.
They're taking it up next week. Oh, okay. All right. So we've already done, we did D on there for the green alien. I believe we have a cemetery deed to move along here. And bear with me just a minute so I can focus on what I'm moving here. Yeah, I'll make a motion on the cemetery deed and perpetual care maintenance agreement. Was that to Julia Watson? Page, sorry. All right,
I'll second.
Second, Dan seconds. Yeah, thank you, Dan. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? All right, we're good there. We've done our liquor licenses and the only thing left, we've got one more after this, but we have, I mentioned earlier, the catered functions, it was an add-on, it was in the packet. We can table it, but if everybody's happy with it, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Looked pretty straightforward. Don't think any reason to make them wait another 2 weeks when it's supposed to be on the 12th anyway. So if it's all the same, the board, I'll make a motion to approve the 3 catered function events, or the Seacoast Catering at Camden National, LCTV fundraiser at Lincoln Theater on the 29th of October, and LCTV fundraiser on Lincoln Theater on December 17th.
Second.
All right, Tom seconds. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? All right, motion carries. So Andy, that just leaves a written in number 8 here, right, for an agreement?
Yes, and originally was gonna suggest an executive session, not knowing if more changes would happen, but so there was this was the land use violation on White Oak. And the last meeting, the board signed the consent agreement. The change is under the facts.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
We basically just moved from the agreement, which called out a after the fact plumbing and home occupation permit, and just put it in the facts that they've already actually applied and were granted those.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That's it.
It would have been an easy check off if it stayed as it was. In this case, it just acknowledges they did it already. So that was the only change. They have paid the $4,500 that they agreed to, that we had initiated before in the previous agreement. That amount
Yep.
stayed the same.
So they're paid up on that.
And so that's paid. That was kind of step 1. So we put a date on that a little sooner than the October 13th compliant, or the October was it October 7th date that we're asking them to remove the porch by then.
Okay. What was the date on it again?
October 7th.
October 7th, yeah. Okay. No, sounds good. I'll like make a motion to approve the amended agreement that we need.
There's a copy in the
Yeah. And we got a,
stack over there.
It's over here, right?
Sign, yeah.
yeah, I'll sign. We're getting passed down, so.
Second.
Motion, do I hear a second? Tom seconds. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Okay. And I believe that's it for action items. Nothing else you're sneaking in there?
No.
Good, yeah. All right, discussion items. We can start down at the very end. Tom here.
Well, since John is here, I'd like to thank him on behalf of the town for a great job for the 175th, representing the committee. And yeah, I think he led the committee.
Didn't really have a leader.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, come on.
Fearless, rudderless.
A true group effort. It was, everyone took their little piece and ran with it.
Particularly want to thank him for putting my little car in the front of the parade so it didn't overheat. So I got a little priority there. Made it through without a problem. Thank
He
you.
didn't stick you behind me with all my smoke, so he was, yeah. Oh, that's good. Thank you, Tom. Dan?
Yeah, I don't know. It's, I noticed that, the Lincoln County Commissioners, allocated like $1.5 million ARPA funds for affordable housing.
Mhm.
Initiatives in the county, and, I didn't know how that impacts Damascotta, or if there's anything we need to do to initiate that, or what the next step would be.
I'll find.
And I know that follows up on the Lincoln County Regional Planning Commission completed just this month a big report on housing in the county as well. So I suspect that both are related somehow.
I do not know the answer, but I can find out.
They allocated $1.5 million in ARPA funds for affordable housing.
Harper.
ARPA.
ARPA, AR. And this is not that as relevant, but following up on the cemetery committee tours from last time, I don't have everyone's email. So
Thank you.
I had reached out and said I'd be interested in taking the cemetery committee up on their offered a
Yeah.
tour. And so she got back to me and said, you figure it out when you want to do it. And it was just like,
So what we'll do, I need, before we leave tonight, I need he has a BOS email now, right?
We need to get that still lined up,
Okay.
but when I send the board packets out, I've been using both the one you will have and
Okay.
the personal one, but we're working on getting that one set
Okay.
up for you.
Yeah, So.
And the rest of them are included in that email with the board packets.
okay,
So I'll put an email together, so we can figure that out.
Okay.
We just have to be careful. We can't just reply all, because if it's
yes.
5 of us talking, you've got to, so I can do a straw poll, kind of figure out who's available when,
Okay.
and then we can reach out. I can reach out. So, yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I had forgotten about it off the table, but I'm interested. I'd definitely like to do it. And I think we all did. I think we all showed interest in doing the cemetery.
A little
tour.
worried about the walking, but I'm gonna
So-
give it a.
Well, we can get you close enough.
You can carry me. if
Pick you up.
Bring out your big truck and.
Someone's chair or something, like you around, fan you.
Otherwise I will do it. Yeah.
Put
Thank you
everyone,
for mentioning that, Dan.
yeah, put everyone in the back of your big truck.
We could. I can get 25 people in there. Yes. But yeah, I'll make sure I get information so we can,
Yeah, it seemed like a nice offer, and it would be nice to. take a-
Yeah, and it's bad Lorraine's not here. They do a wonderful job with history. I mean, it's amazing how far back they go with Patty and stuff, how deep they go into researching stuff. It's, we took ownership of 2 cemeteries that we didn't know we had last
Yeah.
couple of years. So it's pretty interesting. So yeah, awesome. Thank you, Dan.
They do maintain a database of those buried there, and I assume a lot of folks will reach out to them to find family members' graves. And so that database comes in handy, and they've been keeping that current. And there was some work that they just did in the Bethlehem Cemetery on Back Meadow Road.
Oh, okay.
There was a section of it that had some grub issues, and it was starting to look pretty bad. So they actually you'd drive by, had ripped up a good chunk of it and re-sodded and seeded it. So it's got strips of hay going through it now. That's what they were trying to
Nice.
remedy. And then down Hillside, they tried to firm up an area where the grass clippings usually get piled up for the year.
Yeah.
To make it easier to clean up. So there's still some waste blocks that need to come in for backing to be able to push the equipment up to when they remove it, but the good things to kind
So
of.
are you the muscle now that Matt Luck has used to?
Matt Luck is still active.
I've seen Matt still helps out, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Good for
He,
him.
he enjoys, he enjoyed doing that, helping him out. So he's still involved, which is cool. So,
Good.
yeah, awesome. I don't have anything to add. I was gonna say something about the weekend, but you guys all took that away from me. So yeah. But I won't prolong the meeting anymore, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn if someone wants to.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Tom. Dan, you want to second it?
Sure.
Dan seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, so adjourned. Thank you all for coming. That was exciting. Wasn't it? We do have a stack here, gentlemen, that we need to sign there. Everything should be marked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And